You have to lose the fear of experimenting. You have to lose the fear of innovating. You have to lose the fear of failing. Just because one formula works for somebody else, that doesn't mean that it has to work for you. In fact, one of the biggest traps for content creators is to think that they have to copy exactly what other creators are doing. You know why? Because they think, oh, they're following that formula. That means that it's working for them. That means that it's going to bring more sales, more views, and more likes to me. But the truth here is that if you're stuck to one formula forever, you're never going to discover the content that really resonates with your audience. This is something that I learned the hard way, and I just learned to experiment here on my YouTube, on TikTok, and on Instagram. I just decided one day, why do I have to keep creating the same ideas? Why do I have to keep creating the same content that I see around me? Why I cannot be myself? Why I cannot create the content that I really want to create? And when I started doing that, I started getting less views, but something in me was more, was feeling more passionate about creating the content that I really wanted to create, not following a formula, a certain formula that I saw around me. So the moral of the story is, if you're not experimenting, if you're not failing, you will never discover the content that really and truly makes you happy. And I am a Spanish teacher here in the US. I am also an online teacher, and I have been creating content for the past 3 years. I have learned a lot about content creation. I have been creating content for YouTube, for TikTok, for Instagram, and sometimes for Facebook. My main language, my native language is not English, is Spanish, as you can tell by my accent. I hope these 7 valuable lessons for content creation lift you up and make you feel better, because the problem is not you. The problem sometimes is the way we approach things and the mindset. Let's dive into these 7 valuable lessons, and I hope they help you a lot. You will be speaking into a void. You will be speaking to a wall at the beginning. If you upload a video and there are 0 views after 1 hour or 2 hours, that's totally okay. That's normal. That's part of the process. I have been there. I understood then that at the beginning, it's going to be the silent journey. Nobody's going to watch. That's when your character is going to grow. It can feel really discouraging at the point of not creating content for weeks. That happened to me. That's actually sad when you start getting discouraged because you don't get the views, you don't get the likes, you don't get the results that you want. But it's in this phase, it's in this stage of the journey that it might get lonely, but your character and your strength is going to grow. Keep pushing, keep trying, keep it up. It's not you. It's just that we are used to seeing fast results. You have to wait. You have to learn to be patient. Don't take it personal. This is something that I used to believe all the time. My content is not good. I'm not doing enough. And, once I started thinking, this is part of the journey, I have to learn to be patient. That's when I just relaxed and my creativity just kept going. You have to be brave. You have to keep showing up no matter what. Forget about the views. Forget about the comments. Forget about the likes. Forget about sales. You have to focus on something more important than that, and that's serving others with your content. Algorithms will change constantly, and you know that that's true. But service, especially serving others with your content, that's like building on solid rock. One Bible verse that has become my anchor lately, and this is one of my favorite verses because it has so much meaning and it can be applied to any situation of your life, especially those situations where you actually want to grow something, is the following verse. The one about building your house on solid rock instead of sand. That's exactly how I have started approaching content creation lately, because I realized that if your foundation of creating content is just chasing views and quick sales and going viral, your foundation of creating content is going to be really shaky. especially when algorithms are constantly changing, are constantly shifting. Something that keeps me going is when someone tells me on a comment, your Italian classes are helping me, your Spanish classes are helping me, your English classes have helped me get a new job. That sensation of knowing that I'm helping other people with my content is so rewarding and inspiring. To know that I made the life of somebody else a little bit easier, that's what keeps me going with my content creation. At the beginning, it's all about, oh my God, why is my video not getting views? Why is my video not getting likes? Why is my video not getting comments like any other content creator? With this, I would also like to say that I've learned to put my work in the hands of God, to trust that He's guiding me. And my best advice is that if you're creating content out there, if you're starting your journey with this content creation, you have to build it with purpose. You have to build it on service. You have to build it on solid rock. One of the main lessons I learned was to bring something fresh and new to the table when creating new content. I thought that being knowledgeable and to know a lot about the subject that you're teaching was the best thing or was the best approach when creating content. But I discovered soon that that was not bringing me more views, that was not bringing me new sales, that was not bringing me comments or likes. And it's because knowledge by itself, that's so easy to get it nowadays on internet. And with artificial intelligence, you can get it very easy, the information that you want. When you are actually out there creating content, you have to mix your uniqueness, your authenticity, yourself with the content, with the knowledge that you know. If you're afraid of being yourself, if you're afraid of bringing something new to the table, if you're afraid of bringing a fresh idea to the table, or if you're afraid of doing something that is not conventional, then I think that content creation is going to be very difficult. And I learned that the hard way. I thought that, knowing a lot about your subject was going to be the best approach. But then I learned that you have to be yourself. You have to connect with your audience. You have to just show who you really are so that your audience sees that you are authentic. I mean, right now I'm speaking English and I know that I am really afraid of making mistakes, but my goal now is just to communicate. And once I understood that my goal is to communicate, get the message across to my community, that's when I started to just stop being afraid of being myself in front of the camera. Be yourself. Being yourself is that fresh thing that the world is just looking for. These days, there are so many platforms that you can choose from: TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, you name it. And early in my journey, I made the mistake of focusing on the ones that I thought would bring more visibility and faster growth. But in hindsight, I realized something really important. I should have started with YouTube. YouTube is where real communities are built. At least for me, that's what's happening. YouTube is where your content stays searchable, discoverable, and relevant for so many years. Unlike many platforms where your content disappears after 24 hours or they're not searchable at all. Something I learned about YouTube is that YouTube is built for evergreen content. And people come to YouTube when they're serious about learning something or finding solutions to their problems. Think about all those times when you wanted to learn a language or you wanted to follow a tutorial to just install something at home. Where do you go to? Me personally, I go to YouTube. If you're still wondering, should I create a YouTube channel for my business? My answer is you should do it right away. It's one of the most complete platforms out there. You can create long-form videos, you can upload shorts, you can create posts, you can create polls, you can do lives, and it gives you all the tools to grow and connect. If you haven't created a YouTube channel for your business, this is the time. Every couple of months, take the time to review your analytics. Analytics are numbers and charts that will tell you what your audience really needs. And this is something I learned recently. I just sat down one day and I saw my analytics from YouTube and TikTok, and I saw a lot of videos that I thought that would never get views, getting views. And they were bringing a lot of comments. They were bringing a lot of likes. And I thought, why didn't I check my analytics before? Because they were giving me the answer to my questions. And I was constantly asking myself all the time, what should I create? What content does my audience need? What is it that my students actually need to learn? And I went to the analytics and the answers were there. If you're not paying attention to this data, you're actually missing out on valuable insights and information that the platform that you're using is giving you for free. Use those insights and adjust your content. Sometimes we're just not niching down and we're just creating based on ideas that we want or ideas that we like, and we're just not following the needs of our audience. But the analytics are there and they will tell you exactly what you need to create. Double down on what works and let go of what doesn't. It's not about chasing trends. It's about understanding what your audience really wants from you. Innovation requires courage. It means saying to the world, here's my solution, here is how I see the problem, here is how I want to solve the problem. And if you're afraid of doing that, then content creation is not for you. Experimenting means sometimes lower views, no sales, and people just not seeing your content. And that's when you get afraid of creating new content, creating fresh content, creating content that you really want to create. Start believing in your own ideas, in your own solutions, in the way that you want to approach a problem. Don't be afraid to pivot, try something new, and be yourself. When I upload a video, the first thing that I do is to go and see the views after 10 minutes, after 1 hour, and I obsessed about checking the views all the time. I mean, when I go and have dinner, I check the views on my YouTube studio, or I go to my TikTok and see how my video is performing. So stop doing that. I know that you're also doing it because I know that this is something that content creators do all the time to see, if they are actually going viral. You know what the problem with that is? The first problem is that you're wasting your time. You're wasting valuable time that you could be using to create your next video. I would love to stress this. I mean, instead of checking out your views all the time, think about your next video. Start scripting your next video. Start jotting down ideas for your next video. Thank you so much for having watched this video, and I hope this information helped you a lot. Please subscribe if you think that this content was worth watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.